Hi, my name is Claire. I am the founder of Embrace and Flow Collective, and welcome to From the Inside Out. From the Inside Out is going to be a space. It already exists as a newsletter. I want to expand it into an online connection to share my experience with healing and growth through integrated mind, body, and soul work, and to work with other people in this avenue as well. My announcement today, my first announcement, is that after a whole 5 years in the corporate world, I am leaving. I put in my 2-week notice. I'm done at the end of May. It is both a huge relief and very terrifying. It's weird to be 27 and to feel like I'm already making such a huge change that many people experience, but not until later on in life. Whereas my own personal experiences have brought me to this decision much sooner. So, a little background. When I went to college, when I was looking at colleges, I wanted to be an eye doctor. I wanted to be an optometrist because I was really fascinated by eyes. I've had glasses or contacts since I was in 3rd or 4th grade. I found the scans of retinas really cool. I found it really fascinating to talk to the doctor at my exams about what was going on. And it just seemed like a cool field that would also make me a lot of money. So I chose my college based on that. Fast forward a few years, I failed biology. I started on the natural sciences track. I made my own major. I was going to combine brain and cognitive sciences with biology, chemistry to have this more integrated, holistic way of approaching being an eye doctor. Failed biology. That wasn't going to work. Because of my brain and cognitive science classes, was able to easily pivot to a major in psychology. So I had that for like a year. And then, was like, what do I want to do with psychology? I don't want to be a therapist. Nothing against therapists. Me personally, didn't want to be a therapist. Didn't really know what else there was that I could major in psychology and then go on to do with my life. So the summer before junior year of college, I had a conversation with one of my friends about what the heck am I supposed to major in? What am I supposed to do with my life? And he prompted me to think about what do I enjoy and how do I want to make an impact in the world. So I pivoted again to an environmental studies degree. This degree focused on law and policy. It wasn't really scientific. It was more on the how have we built things around improving the environment? How have we instituted laws and statutes to control businesses and governments and all of the stuff that hasn't actually done anything, right? But I did that for a second there, thought that I was going to go to law school. And then I graduated in 2021, 1 year into the lovely little thing we like to call a pandemic. And at that time, I really have never been a good student. Uh, the way that classes are taught, the way that we take tests and demonstrate our intelligence was not a way that worked for my brain. I only did well in my law classes because I was able to do open note tests. If I had had to do the standard pre-pandemic blue book, I would have failed those classes as well. Just saying. When I graduated from college, my first corporate job was with a very small ESG consulting firm where people would hire us to help them with their carbon emissions calculations, reporting, all of that fun jazz. I left that job after 8 months because of personal differences, personality differences, and I found a internal sustainability job with an architecture firm in New York City. I was also living in Hoboken, New Jersey at this time. When I got this job, it seemed like a great opportunity for me and my personality. I was going to be solo in the New York City office while the rest of my team is in DC. I was given leadership opportunities immediately, despite only being 23 at the time. And really was just immediately trusted, valued, all of the things that for me are an amazing thing to have that early on in your career. Almost 2 years ago, year and a half, we're in between the 1.5 to 2 year mark, I moved to Pittsburgh. Mostly because the relationship that brought me to Hoboken in the first place ended, because I've done all of this work and was like, this relationship is killing my soul. You're asking me to be someone who I'm not, and I can't keep trying to be the square peg in your round hole anymore. So I left, and then I left New York and Hoboken, and I moved to Pittsburgh because I really liked my job at the time and wanted to stay, and I could move to Pittsburgh and keep my job. And there was just something about Pittsburgh that felt really exciting and enticing. It's a small city, low cost of living. I knew a few people who worked in the office here, were all really great people. And I did it. I moved. And then suddenly my entire life became my job, because I met someone at work who I now live with. He is my partner. And the thing about dating someone you work with, especially when you've just moved to a new city, is that there is no more work-life balance anymore. My entire life became my job. And that was a lot, because it wasn't leave it after 6 anymore. It wasn't leave it at the office. It's come home, you still keep talking about work, because you talk about, how's your day, honey? Oh yeah, did you see what this person did in the office today? And this person said this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did, because same place, same office, same people. So that became a lot for me. I also started to understand that corporate sustainability did not have the impact that I was hoping for. The thing about working in corporate sustainability within an architecture firm is that while understanding and working to reduce operational emissions are still important, the overall impact is compared to the impact of carbon and operational and embodied carbon from the project work. So in this small little thing over here, we were doing a great job, but not compared to the portfolio of the entire firm. And for me, personally, it just started to feel really at odds with the sort of impact I want to be making on the world. So here we are. I started Embrace and Flow formally after I finished my yoga teacher training. It started just as, I want to be a yoga teacher. I want to connect with people. What's a fun Instagram name that embodies me? Embrace and Flow comes from my divine coordinates, which we will learn about more later. And I found some inspiration from a yoga sutra. I could not recount it to you at this point in time, but yoga is about the fluctuation of the mind and being able to temper, ride with, manage those the mind, what rises, what comes up, the feelings, the emotions. So embrace and flow is we embrace what we have control over and we flow through what we do not, which is a lesson for me and a lesson that I want to impart on others as well. So here I am, 5 years out of college, taking a path that I never really would not have imagined for myself, which is entrepreneurship. Embrace and Flow Collective has become a well-rounded coaching I want different words, but they're not coming to me. Coaching container for anyone who is looking to truly take a holistic, integrated approach through mind, body, and soul work. There's the work of divine navigation, which is looking at your divine coordinates and how does your soul inform your purpose, the way that you move through life, the way that you make decisions, the way that you interact with others, your relationships, your career path, so many crazy things. And then there's yoga, which is a balance of how do you bridge and work together with your mind and your body. And then the embodiment of all of these things. So mind, body, and soul. Because I believe that in order to operate at your highest vibrational frequency, if you want to see positive manifestations in your life, if you want to feel connected to yourself, if you want to feel connected to your communities, if you want to feel like every decision you are making in your life, no matter how small, is coming from a truly embodied place, you need to learn to be embodied, which is the integration of mind, body, and soul. Excuse me, I had a hair on my mouth. Part of what's led me to the decision to leave corporate is that I've never identified well with hustle culture. I literally just this past weekend, went to my brother's college graduation ceremony. And so many of the congratulatory speeches from the deans, professors, whoever, mentioned the late nights, all-nighters, so much coffee, overwork, like the pushing yourself to your limit to be a Latin distinct graduate, like, that fun stuff. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, it's been ingrained in us since we were in high school. Maybe for some people earlier, depending on where you went to school and the attitude of your parents. But I struggled in school. It did not work for me. Testing, late night studying, it was not how I got things into my brain. I also personally deal with some, I don't really know, chronic illnesses, which also make it even harder to subscribe and stick with hustle culture. I need 9 hours of sleep. So it's a mix of all of these things, plus the fact that, yeah, I am 27, and I kind of recently was like, I think I'm losing my youth to having to spend 40 hours of my week working for someone else doing a job that I am moderately okay with, and that my greatest source of satisfaction is how much money I make. That's not really the key to a successful, fulfilled life. And I believe that to live our best life, in some ways we do have to let go of the things that have created value for us, or that we've identified with, that, ooh, I'm a hustle corporate girly and I make lots of money and da-da-da. Like, there are more important things in life. When I work from home, I don't go outside because I've adopted the mentality that when I'm working from home, I have to prove myself more because I'm at home and not in the office. So my little dot in Teams always has to be green so that people know that I'm not slacking off, which means I can't go outside. So like, it's not just 8 hours of my day that it's like I've disconnected from what it is to be human. Even though I do this coaching work and I promote embodied mindful ways of living, like, I have to practice what I preach. And I'm aware of that, which is also why I've made this decision, because I feel that in order to truly live the life that I want to be living, I have to make the switch that allows me to bring that into every day of my life. Monday through Friday, I wake up, and from the moment my eyes open, I feel hurried. I feel like I'm acting for someone else. I feel like I'm acting for a purpose that I do not care about because I have to be in the office by 9. And that's exhausting. I have become exhausted by something that I do not care about, which is really hard to say because I love my team. I truly love and value every single person that I've gotten to work with over the past 4 years at this firm, which has made leaving a really weird, difficult thing because I feel like I'm letting them down, right? I'm choosing to walk away. I'm choosing to do something else. I'm saying this isn't valuable to me anymore. And I don't want to discredit them because they are so good at what they do and they are so passionate and they are also amazing human beings who have supported me in a way that I've needed to be supported. But I just can't. I can't work for the man anymore. And yeah. So this is my announcement, special connection, that I am leaving corporate. I'm done. I am putting my efforts behind myself. I'm betting on myself this year, and I'm really excited about what's to come. My hope is that by expanding into more long form videos, that it allows me to balance how I feel about we need social media to connect, but social media creates an inherent disconnection. long form media allows us to sit with ourselves a little bit more, I think, as a proud consumer of ASMR. I feel a lot better watching ASMR videos than I do sitting scrolling through Reels and TikTok, right? It's a very different mentality, and I think that this helps create community a little bit more than the same thing on Instagram or TikTok. So if you are here, thank you so much. Please follow along for more. Again, I will be sharing my experience. This is also a place where I will share yoga, meditation, and embodiment practices. My cat just started playing with a plastic bag. I hope you can't hear that. And yeah, please reach out. I am open for coaching. My coaching practice is the mind, body, soul integration, looking at how what you may not know about your soul can inform a lot about your life. Thanks so much, and talk to you next time.